Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
It was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your hair. How do you like that? Y'all like the way I came in with the lyrics? You know, I was all flowing like, let me do your hair. We got, hey, what's up, Lawana? How you guys doing out there? Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, Wright, a.k.a. Lolo, coming to you live and direct from my home located in Cleveland, Ohio. And then right over here, there she be. Y'all know who it is, right? The one and only Cheryl Morrow, a.k.a. D. Not the, but D. Hair Oracle, and we are so very, very excited. We got 108 episodes in, and this one right here, one of the things about doing the podcast is that I'm such a chatty Cathy, and I like to talk about like a whole bunch of crap. But this topic right here is my absolute. I mean, the one today earlier. On So You Think You Can Do Hair, which was about deposits. You guys got to watch that one. It was like off the Richter scale, which I don't think hairstylists should be charging a deposit to get your hair for a hair appointment, like barbers and makeup. I'm not understanding that. You guys let me know. Let Cheryl and I know what you think in the chat. Are you willing to pay a deposit to get for a hair appointment? Your nails, your makeup. I don't know about that one. So let us know how you guys feel about that. But tonight's topic is all about elderly hair care. And this is one of my favorite topics because I had the blessed opportunity to care for my mom's hair literally until her dying day, and also my father's. So if you are able to care for a loved one's hair, or a loved one in general, just caring for them is funny enough. Who would ever think your parents would become your children? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if your mom and dad got it going on right now, you better enjoy it, because I'm telling you, they are going to become your babies, literally, and it is going to be the funniest. I mean, you have not lived a life until you try to parent your parents. You talking about baby God got jokes for us, all right?
Right. That's a very good way of putting it.
I mean, woo-wee, you talking about, you try to tell your mother, use the cane. You don't tell me. You can't eat that.
Yeah. It's funny because I can tell you right now, and if they did a good job,
man,
you them to them.
Oh man, listen, I remember that time I told my mom, I wish my sister was in the podcast, but my mom had this diet restriction where she could not eat any salt, right? So we took her to Wendy's and got her little, just a burger. And so she had the tomato, not like table salt. So she wanted to put some salt. And I said, now, Mom, we just left the doctor and they said, you cannot put salt. Why'd you take the hamburger and slap me with it? I'm talking about adult abuse, man. Your parents.
I've taken the abuse, and then at that time, I just say, put that down. Put it down.
So
I'll even go through it. But here you do. You say, put that down. and then you look away. Like you ain't paying attention to what they trying to say.
I mean, caring for your parents as elders, dude, it's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
So in the chat, we have some people who are like, let me tell you something. We can't say, I'm not paying no deposits, okay? It's not going down. And then WK also said, this is why I went back to my old stylist, because she doesn't do deposits. All right. Go, okay, now I had to put you on blast. I hate to say it. I got to do you like that, WK, because you typed it. So I guess, it's permission time. But WK said that's why she went back to the old stylist, because she doesn't do deposits. Her shop is an hour and 15 minutes from where I live, but she drives all the way there. And the new stylists, like the new stylists, they always want a deposit. Okay. So, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I don't know about that. And Luana says that she really enjoyed, brushing her mom's and her grandmother's hair during their last days. I mean, that, man, caring for your parents until they take their last breath, dude.
It's a gift.
It is truly a gift. And so tonight we're going to be talking about caring for your loved one's hair. Now, of course, it's specific to elderly, but there are some other circumstances where, a family member may not be able to do their hair. Maybe they were in an accident or, something like that. So we're going to make sure that we spread this topic a little bit around. And so what's up, my BFF? I see you in the chat. Rashida coming through for a minute. She probably going to hop back out. But sure, we got Ronchina. That's our Atlanta soldier coming through for us. So what we're gonna do is we got Facebook Live, we have LinkedIn. What's up, LinkedIn? How you guys doing up there? And then of course we have YouTube, as always, on fire. And guess what, guys? We have Instagram. So Rashida, go over to Instagram and let me know if you see the live. So we're trying this to see if we can get some some Instagram folks in on this podcast. So in the meantime, we're going to play a little bit of Rachel Evans as we wait for some more people to come in, and just get yourself winded up. Get your wine, get your Kool-Aid, whatever you're drinking on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm drinking on, right? What you drinking on? Hold on. I was queuing up. I don't know what's up with my internet. It's coming. Come on, internet.
It's playing. We grooving. You late. Grooving.
Oh, I ain't hear it playing. Okay, well, this is what I'm drinking on. Let me do your hair.
Right.
There we go. Yeah, hip hop parade. Oh, hey, that's right. Come on in. That's right. We have Rachel Evans surprise us and came through the chat. Arnisa, we're going to rock that trip to Columbus. Don't worry. It's coming through first. We got you. All right. I want to help you. All right now. I'll be so very happy if you would let me do your thing. Y'all know I can't sing, right? But I'm gonna try it anyway. Come on, y'all. Now let me do your thing. What if I pantomize? Then y'all can't tell, right? Rachel said I can sing this song all I want to. It's in the chat. Take it, you know, now. Hey. Hey, when we go live one day and in person, we're gonna see if somebody want to sing this song like karaoke.
Where's Hair Savant?
I'll text him. I'll reach out to him. I was so very happy if you would let me Hey, hit that high note. You gotta be able to sing that song. Woo! Let us do your hair because we are the hairstylists who care.
That's sexy.
Ain't nothing like us. Sexy saxophone. Hey.
Okay, so the elderly in gray hair, right? Oh, Mary.
Let me do your hand. I've reached out to Harry Savannah. I just text him, y'all. He might be working. He like, what the ham sandwich do y'all want? Hey. Come on. Sing that song, girl. All right. That is just such a cool song, given today's environment and elements and all that kind of mints, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with hair today? Hair today, gone tomorrow. You know, they want to cut it off, chop it, weave it, slap it up, rub it down. I don't know. So we need some sister, let me do your hair, because there are a lot of cosmetologists who actually care about you and your hair. Contrary to popular belief, Cheryl and I, we're not the only ones. There are a lot of hairstylists in the chat who just want to be like Jane, you know, want to just testify that it's a beautiful thing to be able to care for your hair, and especially as you mature. So we are 108 episodes in, and this is our topic tonight. But before we do that, we always have some current events. So Anissa, we're going to dedicate our current event segment to you, since you asked about our trip. Somebody watching us, sure. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody watching us. Ernisa loves us. You know what I'm saying? Lawana loves us. WK loves us. You know, Rashida. Yeah. So on the current event, so we're gonna do 2 current events. Then Ernisa, we're gonna go ahead and rock it. About our trip to Columbus. So get ready for that. But first, I have 2 interesting current events before we hit that trip to Columbus. So the first one, I found this one quite interesting, given we're talking about taking care of our parents. So Psychology Today, it's a pretty cool magazine. If you're not familiar with it, go ahead and check it out. I actually like reading that magazine. I know a psychologist probably like, girl, stop reading that. Hey, I'm Kilo.
No, it's actually very, very interesting.
Okay. It's a good magazine. You know, it's really, but you know, we're hair nerds, right? So if you're on this podcast, you're definitely a hair nerd. So this one was about shattering the illusion of invincibility in Black women. Now, given what happened with what's the lady? Bad bitch. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Bad built beach blonde, bad built, something like that, you know. So given Jasmine, that's her name, Jasmine Crockett. Yes. So given Representative Jasmine Crockett, also Fani, good Lord, Fani Lewis. I mean, Black women are just really, you know, especially in that political arena, and then just everyday people like everybody in the chat, shattering the illusion of invincibility in Black women. What do you think about that?
Well, this is how I put it. When you're chosen by the wonderful universe to be first, that's expected of you.
They got some. Now, there are more key points. You can Google this if you don't have the actual magazine. This is on Google. So they're saying that Black women's mental health needs to be redefined. I don't know that they ever defined it. So I'd love to know what was the original. Anybody in the chat want to take a and let us know what was the original definition of Black women's mental health. I think it was rubberneck. You know, like we were supposed to have an attitude all the time, and maybe that was it. True resilience should not be about enduring hardship without complaint. I don't know if Black women gonna get that up. Because we just gonna I don't make it do what it do.
True resilience should not be enduring hardship without complaint, meaning we should be able to complain about it.
Yeah, but I don't think we will, because we just gonna be. I don't make it do what it do. Finally, I am not on trial.
But I don't think that we don't not complain. I just think that
no one give listens. A damn. Yeah, we're
no one listens.
Yeah, okay.
They're not trying to listen.
Okay, all right, y'all see, I'm just getting hood over here. You know what I'm saying? Hood people like, you don't represent us. I know, my own little hood. Okay, and then the third one said it should encompass the ability to seek help, rest, and practice of self-care. Now that I would concur, because Black women will just go. They will be like ham-hearted. Know who I am. How you like the way I said that? I ain't even cuss. I'm about to go ham. Know who I am. I'm about to go ham. If you know the words, and you know what I'm saying. You look at Cheryl like, you crazy. It's true. I think we do need to seek help. We need to get rest. I struggle with that myself. I have to say, Ladosha, it's time for you to chill. So what I've done, my mentor taught me, every 3 months, shut it down. So every 3 months I go and I travel, I get geeked, or I might sleep or whatever. I read a book and I just shut everything down and I practice my self-care, because it's hard, when you got things that you want to do and people are pulling on you. So I can see that being somewhat, something that we need. And then just asking for help. I think asking for help for a lot of people is real. I don't know why. I ain't scared to ask. Cheryl, let me borrow $5.
Well, the point is, I think that even including Black women and everybody else, they're asking you for help.
Right. Yeah. I think some of it is maybe like our self-talk. The things that we say to ourselves, and I'm sounding real foxy now, but back in the day, trust me, I was that perfect Patty syndrome had me all messed up. Hey, it'll get you. Oh, my credit. Oh, I'm just not worthy. Whatever. But I think that's how you get old. You're just like, I don't care no more. I don't know. As you get older, I find myself saying whatever.
Absolutely. And I struggle. Yeah. And I struggle. It's not even asking for help. The question is, can you be helped?
Yeah. That's my cousin had a little podcast called Black Women Protected. And, she was kind of talking about some of these issues here. And so big up to my cousin, Nuki. What's up, Nuki? She's about to be 60 pretty soon. So yeah, that's a good topic. Okay, next one, guys. Here we go, guys. Here's another one. 3 truths about European hair. Is it actually from Europe? Now, this is about hair extensions. If you look up top, it's about hair extensions. So I guess I got to show. Can I share my screen right quick, guys? So anybody in the chat wearing hair weaves, let me know if you rocking some hair weave. Let Cheryl and I know in the chat if you are rocking hair weaves, because apparently when people go to buy hair weaves or hair, I don't know what you call it. I don't do weaves. So I'm probably saying it wrong. But apparently when they go to buy this hair, they are particularly looking for extensions. You hear what I'm saying? European hair. And they said at least once a week, this person receives an email or is asked if their store carries European hair. She tries not to laugh. And the reason being is it's all about, she says, how our industry has gone through so many ways of slick marketing. And she said, this one is a spoiler. Asking for European hair is not a good thing, because 9 times out of 10, European or hair extensions, period, in general, are not from Europe. So I found that. And if you read the article a little bit more, it goes on to say that these are like mostly African American women are like, is it European hair?
Yep.
I think it's Cheryl like.
Well, okay. I got some questions.
Go ahead. I have the article here, so we can go a little bit. Go ahead.
Are they saying that they prefer hair from a specific geographical area?
Okay.
Or are they saying that women who live in Europe have a different texture from people who have straight hair in other parts of the world?
All right, so here's what they are saying. All right, they are saying that there was a huge marketing buzz about Russian, Brazilian. Here's your locations, Malaysian and Cambodian hair, which took on the African American hair industry like a wild storm, and it had this particular consumer group evoking hair from faraway lands as pure, untouched, and people believe they were buying exotic hair. So that's what that's all about, Cheryl. They wanted some exotic hair.
That is so dumb.
Sure, you bougie. This particular audience, I guess you guys don't do the hair weaves. Nobody answered the question because I don't do weaves. I don't wear them. I don't know what they're all about. So I guess I'm gonna have to play a little dumb here. But I guess that's the hair that they say African Americans. I guess the other ethnic groups who wear hair weaves, they don't really have this special request. But go say yes, very dumb. Frida, you don't wear no hair weaves. And a hair weave wearer in the chat. Wow, this is very interesting.
Because I cannot see any woman from those areas requesting, because in their mind, I want y'all to be very clear, in their mind, straight is straight. They just want something to match their hair. They don't have no. That's just dumb. I'm sorry.
I saw a thing on TikTok. I told you I'm addicted to TikTok. And the lady Niecy Nash, when she was on remember that TV show, I forgot. And she was telling the girl about the police. Remember that one? And she was telling the girl that her edges don't match her weave and she needed to go back and buy the hair. And I okay, we can't now see. I'm along with WeK on this one. That maybe that's why they call it European hair, because they think that Brazilian, Malaysian, Russian, Cambodian, that's European hair.
But that's not in Europe.
We don't wear weaves. So no, we have no weave wearers in the chat. We are definitely live on Instagram. I see us there. So maybe Instagram a little bit scared. Come on, Instagram. I just stop being scared now. So that's okay. Okay. Well, all right. So, okay, here you go, Miss Ernisa. This segment is dedicated to you. So now we're going to get on to our trip. We drove down. So Cheryl flew in all the way from California, and she flew into Cleveland, and we drove down to Columbus. I did not get this gentleman's name.
He's the speaker. He the big dog. I mean, he was the big dog, y'all. He pulled out his camera. He was like, "Look at my family. Look at them curls." Yeah, he was all into. So
while I'm looking that up, here he is, Jason Stevens. Yes. That's his name. Yes. His name is Jason Stevens, and he is the Ohio Speaker of the House. He's a Republican, and he and his aide. When I tell you, Ernisa, I don't know what we see on TV about Democrats and Republicans. We probably need to turn that TV off. Um, I mean, I'm just saying, people are human at the end of the day, and this is a part of our job as cosmetologists. I never thought it was, to be honest, but it is. And
Mhm.
so, this Speaker of the House, if you are a Republican, then you need to vote for him. Okay.
Yes,
I'm
seriously.
not a Republican, but if I
Right.
was, I would vote for him.
Mhm.
Um, uh, because he was definitely, first of all, he gave us time,
Yeah.
right? Didn't he? Sure, he wasn't trying to, walk us out. He actually listened to everything we had to say, and then, like Cheryl said, Ernisa, he said, because our premise about incorporating, no, what's the word you use, Cheryl? Was it complimenting? What did you say the book should
A,
be?
a companion besides the state.
Okay.
Yeah, the
So
state.
so so we have the Milady's Book of Cosmetology. And so Cheryl and I was proposing for a companion book by way of the Afro Cosmetology, the book that her dad wrote, which is about textured hair science.
Mhm.
And so we're giving him the backdrop of why this science is really important beyond hairstyling. We are not talking about the Crown Act, which he was aware of. He wanted to know, is this the Crown Act? So this man
Oh,
is on the pulse of his constituents.
yeah.
He
Everybody, all of them get
Yeah, they
around.
they knew what the Crown Act was. Okay, so big ups to Juanita Britt. She is out there pushing it. She's from I forgot which district she represents in Cleveland, but anywho, so this is her and Representative Callender. This is their push. So they were aware of the Crown Act, and then he talked. He wanted to show us his son's blonde curly hair,
And it
and
was big.
it was blonde, it was big, and it was curly, and even he had a little curl to his hair.
That's right.
And then the other magnificent part was his aide. His aide was
God.
so into the meeting, Arnisa. He even suggested that we have a meeting in the rotunda of the state capitol to have a town hall about this discussion. So, again, this is Speaker of the House, Jason Stevens. If you are a Republican, I'm trying to tell you right now, your people is on their job in Ohio. Then next up, we had this wonderful gentleman here, and he was really, really impressed with Cheryl. I forgot his name. Cheryl, you remember his name?
Ooh, I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I think was it
Upchurch.
Upchurch? Okay, I was gonna say up. Okay, so this was
Yeah,
Representative Upchurch, and wow,
already in it. He says, okay, what do we got to do? Who's on it? Who's sponsored? Okay, let me know. Okay. And yeah, it's time to upgrade it. He understood it. And let's get people educated.
yeah.
Just
I mean, everybody out here, I mean, now I'm not what I'm about to say, I'm not hating on people that's out here, with a million likes, but we're just trying to tell you it's this behind the scenes work. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. Sure was doing all the talking, right? I just had my 3 sentences, y'all. And my sentence was, in the history of cosmetology, it would be African Americans, who brought to light the need for for cosmetology to actually have, education and training via Marjorie Stewart Joyner, who helped write the original cosmetology curriculum in the state of Ohio. And I talked about what we did here in Ohio to help allow for cosmetologists to be able to cut hair. These are historical facts. And
yes.
that Cheryl and I are continuing the legacy of our ancestors. So this is not anything new. And then Cheryl just slid it on in, about her dad and the Pentagon. So we are representing the industry very well. And then we had, that's former Senator Shirley Smith, who
Telling me
made
what to do.
all. Hmm?
Telling me what to do.
Yeah. So, former Senator Shirley Smith, she was down by law. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go listen to MC Shan, okay? But she was down by law. And then, last but not least, we also had
Mm.
Paula Hickson,
Man.
Hutz Hickson, Hicks and Hudson.
Hudson Hicks.
Hudson Hicks. Oh my God. Fire, fire, fire. This woman was like, hey, she said, I would tell you how dedicated she was. All right. She was so dedicated. She told Cheryl, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. She said, let me get my note. We don't know this side.
See what you bring in a whole nother perspective. Wait a minute. Love it. Gotta love a pro. That's a top professional when they want to retain information and they know they will not do it with just listening. It's just wonderful to be in a room. Her assistant, man.
Oh yeah,
and
that's her. Yeah,
Shirley Smith is a rock star. Everybody interrupting our meeting.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. These assistants assistant is a good word, okay? But you know what they was doing when we were sitting there, right? They was fact checking us. Hey, if you plan on talking to a politician, don't go in there with no pseudo. Please don't.
Especially when they're young.
Them assistants, let me tell you, she was taking notes, but she was going through like Cheryl said, yes, I helped to they had questions about the Crown Act. And they want to do the Crown Act, but they have questions about it. So Cheryl had made some recommendations of the Crown Act, but I didn't know the email had been sent over. She said, yes, I read it and it reads very well. And so Cheryl like, did you get it? I don't recall sending it. Oh, yes, I got it. Not only did I get it, but I read it. And so she was on the ball and was very, as a young lady, I don't think she was 25. What you think?
Wet.
Yeah, and she's a very powerful. See, y'all talk about these young folks. These young kids ain't doing nothing.
Them babies are on point.
Hey, this young girl, I beg to differ. Y'all better not go down in there thinking these young kids don't know what they're doing, because in fact they truly do. And so Ernisa, I hope you like the update. So where we are right now is we are putting together a brochure that highlights our talking points, so that when it comes down to we're going to redo. So I'm going ahead of myself. So first, Cheryl has put together a brochure. Then number 2, we're going to rewrite the legislation that Cheryl, myself, Shirley, and Representative Elliott Forehand wrote. So we're going to have to rewrite this again. And then I think it may get a new bill number, but right now it's House Bill 414. And then Paula Hickson Hudson and all the parties. Hudson Hicks. This is it bipartisan or non-bipartisan?
I think it's bipartisan. Absolutely.
Okay, it's a bipartisan bill, and so as it stands, the way it looks is that both Republicans and Democrats in the state of Ohio is for a companion book and material to complement the Milady standards of barbering and cosmetology by way of textured hair science. And again, per Cheryl, this is not anything new. Can you just take it from there, Cheryl? I can't tell them why it isn't anything new, but you can tell them. So in case people think, y'all, this new, it's unprecedented. And you say what to that?
And you are referencing to the point where, in terms of texture,
your dad, because your dad already.
Absolutely. Just even in both efforts, the Crown Act and our new bill, like you said, Senate Bill 414, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is to be able to have a professional that has also taught medical doctors and as well as barbers on each continent and on planet Earth about the arts and sciences of men's shaving and Afro hair cutting and styling. The military actually was the place that actually created the curl whole movement, but it has happened in history and has been documented by military workforces for us to deal with culture. And like Professor Beth Bailey from the University of Kansas a historian, military historian, states very clearly, the workplaces and learning institutions and just institutions altogether, in general speaking, have been confronted with times of peril or when things need to be changed. They changed. They did whatever they had to do to meet the cultural aspects of people, to include them if they were worried about morale and the quality of a
Mhm.
person's contribution to their business, to their campus, or whatever the case may be. We've done it before, and
Right.
that's what we're asking. And all of the legislators were completely enthralled and did not know that. And I think that is part of generational information and wealth. You have to include the history, and I think that that's important because most people are not aware.
Right, right. And that's all. That was the beginning of our conversations with each politician on both sides, Democrats and Republican, is that what we are suggesting and doing, it has already been done before. And so this is part of our jobs as licensed professionals, is to do that. And so I'm very honored and proud. So Miss Ernisa, I hope you are very pleased with the update, that we actually made some progress, and we believe, if all goes well, this will be a easy breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just working within the confines of JCAR and all that good stuff. Okay. So now let's hop into the topic today. It's all about elderly hair care, caring for people who is aging and their hair is changing. All right. So we got a big fat excellent from Miss Ernisa. Let me give you a round of applause, and we appreciate you for showing interest, because this means a lot to us. Because we see some things that's happening in the barber and beauty industry that only education is going to be able to solve and be able to meet the demands of what people in the industry are looking for, as well as people who work in it. So, Arnisa, we really appreciate that. So, Cheryl, so let's start off by first, can you share with people what is happening to hair as we age? And aside from the thinning, but definitely point that out, because when it comes to elderly hair care, I think a lot of people, what I see in the hair salon, and when I was visiting my mom when she was in the facilities or whatever, was that was like the first thing to go. So let's talk about what happens to our hair, because like I'm 57, I'm creeping on in there. So what's going to happen to our hair, or what is happening to hair as we age? And we know this is not for everybody, but go ahead, sure.
It it depends on your hereditary DNA and your code and and your lineage and all that good stuff. But the same thing that happens, right, is the same thing that happens when you're a baby. So baby, elderly, and they kind of look, the hair starts going back to that similar look: thin, fine, delicate, either very resistant or it's very fine and delicate. And so you do have those two things, but mainly it's not that anything is happening to the hair per se, it's happening to the scalp.
Hmm.
Yeah, the scalp produces the hair. And so if something is, you're aging systemically, and it's just that the outside of you is just what people see. And so there is the systemic, could be hormones. Obviously, the immune system is shutting certain things down to preserve the equilibrium, or what they call homeostasis. And so androgens and hormones like estrogen and testosterone are not so prevalent.
Now, what
Because
about what Ernisa is saying? Genetic disposition, does that have a lot to do with what's happening to our hair as we age?
yeah, usually when hereditary, your DNA, what you get from your parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with age. You could,
Wow.
if it's in your gene pool, you could gray at 25.
Uh, Okay, I like that because then that explains. I started to gray when I was like 17, and
Mhm.
then by the time I was 35, I was all white because a lot of people do associate gray hair with
With
like
with
age
being
and wisdom.
okay.
Mm.
And so, and because your body is, and I'm gonna simplify this, and maybe you guys can. I could have mentioned it through the Afro Hair Science Summit. You are a colored body, which means nature makes chromosomes, and so you have this color palette about your human experience, complexion, color of eyes, color of hair, okay, color of they know how dark you're going to be when you're a baby about according to your cuticles, right?
Really?
Or your earlobes, and you start looking at a baby and you can tell how dark they're going to get in the
I
now.
never knew that. Did anybody know that in the chat? Did anybody in the chat know that you can tell how dark a baby is going to be by looking at their cuticles? And what else did you say?
In the earlobes.
And the earlobes. Okay, Ernisa, dang, you must be up there with Cheryl because I didn't get that memo. Okay, well, everybody, what the? I want to do over. What the hell? Everybody in the chat is like, I feel. How do I miss this? Okay, so why is there explanation for? Is that a
Well,
right?
I just said Mother Nature. You are a chromosomes. You have chromosomes. And DNA is just a part of your chromosomes, and chromosome means colored body. And so you come here with a set of instructions that creates the same relationship with like photosynthesis. And so you have cells that are in charge of pigment. Like you have like a whole system that is in charge of keeping you either your supposed to the right color and your relationship with either tanning, and yeah, it's quite sophisticated.
I see.
But when those melanocytes dictate how much pigment goes here, how much pigment goes to your eyes, how much pigment goes to your lips, how much pigment goes to your fingertips. It's quite you know how the body just knows to make your elbows dark.
I thought it's because I was black and ashy. Look at these
See?
elbows, Ernisa. Look at this. And my knee. I thought it because I was just a darkie. Well, I tell you, ain't nothing like education. You know your mother call your knee. Mama, like, bring them crusty ass knees off. Get your crusty knees. I'm just talking about my stuff now.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
talking about
actually
anybody else.
have instructions, okay, so when it's time, a baby's tongue sometimes looks gray. It's not pink or even red. Some people's lips are not,
Bro, you so smart. You stink. God damn,
well,
this
I'm
girl's
a
smart.
freaking cosmetologist. Come on now.
Well, I didn't learn that in cosmetology school. I want a do-over.
Well, and then so according to how much less you got and how much you got, that's called dominance versus recessive traits. So you get the balance that you're supposed to have, then your body just creates that balance. Aging is when it comes out of balance and then it just starts shifting. That is what we call quote unquote aging.
Wow. Now, does the environment have anything to do with as we age? Like the sun, the weather, where we live? I'm just going to walk us through so we can understand. Again, we're on our 108th episode, and it is all about elderly hair care, which is really important because we're going to be old, right? And if you're blessed enough to care for your loved one's hair, then we have it, then this is going to help you out. So does the environment affect how we age and what happens with our skin as we get older? Does the environment affect us differently as we age?
Yeah, I think cosmetically it does. I don't know about systemically or you know
Mm-hmm.
in your heritage, but
Okay.
Lack of moisture, more moisture, humidity, no humidity. And because and I think that too, the distribution of melanin, or the carbon in the melanin molecule, and how that is, and then too, of course, your heritage in terms of menopause, or in men you begin to have the diminishing of testosterone, but how you look cosmetically could be just according to, obviously, people of color do age differently. I won't
I
say.
noticed that, like, working behind the chair, and if there are any cosmetologists in the chat, or maybe you just noticed it personally, but I kind of feel like as people age, like they get a little bit lighter. Their skin pigment. It seems when I look at pictures of people as they age, they look a lot lighter to me. I could be wrong, but
Oh, well, you probably, well, that does make sense, because guess what you don't feel like doing?
I don't know.
Older people don't like summer. The older you get, you don't like summer.
Oh, okay. Are you old people that don't want to go
No,
outside,
no, no,
go to the
no,
club no
seriously.
more?
No. Look, you ain't got to. You can get warmer, but you can't get cooler.
Okay. I do.
And,
Yeah, my mom was
like,
always cold. She was always cold. Like, it's cold. I'm like, dang, mine's hot as hell in here.
but when you're
Turn the heat
younger,
down.
you're always hot.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so you don't go out into the summertime. So that there could be some clues, because you did everything. And so by the time you in your 60s, 70s, 80s, then I'm
Hmm.
going out. Hey, look. And then too, what do older people always say? Dressing up is work.
Hmm. Uh-oh. Well, we know what we got to look forward to as we mature. We may not go outside as much. Our skin pigment may change. And that as we age, is for our hair, it's really more so about the scalp, which we're going to get into. So let's start off in no giving order with the actual thinning, and what can we do about the thinning hair. And I want to, take it from this. A little short clip. Here we go.
I know as I'm aging, it's getting thinner, and I just have to find a solution.
So the thinning is what people hate the most, particularly when the wind blows, right? And you can, because her hair was pretty thin. That's the number one complaint. And when we're caring for our elderly person's hair, I could not find videos of people of color with that particular problem. But what about when the hair is so thin, you can see the scalp, but yet they still have texture? And so, what's the solution? I see another thing that I see is that a decrease in shampooing hair. When a lot of people will bring their parents to the hair salon, and they will have not, even in the home or in the facilities, they don't wash the parents' hair as much. So can you speak to the thinning, like that type of thinning with texture, and then how should this hair be cleansed?
I think that older people have a lot of myths. So there's some challenges there with caring for elderly people, because they have so many myths. And they really do have a myth with washing hair and catching a cold. And so,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're really, I don't want to get sick. You know what I mean? So,
Well, okay. Can anybody relate to what Cheryl is saying? Drop your comment in the chat. If
so
you have care for your loved one's hair and they say, you ain't washing that, but I'm not getting sick.
and they better not be going out. Okay, so they got to stay in when you shampoo their their hair. Okay,
Okay.
so stay in, kind of, because it got and we have to, and there's a lot of cultural signifiers that they deal with, and beliefs that older people deal with. Okay, and so you
Mhm.
don't wash your hair and go out. You wash your hair and stay in, and then the next day you go out. Okay, and so washing becomes a night thing, right?
Mm.
And it becomes, it's a whole event, right? And when you have an older clientele, that you have to talk to them in lexicon that they understand. and it's really got a lot of kind of loaded folklore and urban legend, and it not necessarily is a bad thing. Okay,
It is what it is.
right. And also there, I do think that we could be probably, in washing, and I never forget because I did my dad's hair, not even when he was even elderly, and so I learned how to do it correctly, and so they just have a lot of and that's why they don't wash it.
Now talk about the scalp, because particularly on this type of thin hair, we see a lot of scaling on our elders' scalp. When it's really, really fine. Now, well, we got some more clips, but talk a little bit about the scalp care for elderlies. Now, I'm not talking cradle cap or Emma. I'm not quite sure. Help us out with that. So,
cradle, I believe, cradle cap is a allergic autoimmune issue with babies. Usually that are allergic to something. Usually, cradle cap babies will be lactose intolerant. And just in my experience, or hypersensitive to dairy, right? With that being said, I was going to say something I forgot. I'll remember it later.
Okay.
But usually the dry scalp, and let me just say this: I knew what I was getting ready to say. The lady in the video, and all of the experienced hairstylists in the chat, she was never thick. So you have to make sure that you work with a person's heritage and lineage. And as a person, say she looks like she was dealing with some female pattern baldness, right? Or has a very strong defected Y from her father's recessiveness from her father. But usually Black women, in my cosmetic trichology opinion, she was never thick. She didn't have, okay? She's not aging. She is middle-aged, that particular woman. And I wouldn't consider her elderly, right? So she probably had a predisposition to be thin. Okay? And
so in general, when you're caring for your loved one's hair, and if it's really fine and they have the scalp condition, understand we have to respect they're going to want to stay in, right?
Yeah.
So because that's, like you said, that's just the nature of just aging for some. And then
I would use a non-water. I wouldn't do a lot of water. And you guys, I have a pet peeve about that. But I would also condition and shampoo at the same time. I would not do a lot of water.
Okay.
Which hopefully will not induce, because if it's thin, it is susceptible to what we call the water. Hair just dries up really, really quick.
Yeah, because they'll still want like their spiral curls, and we had one customer. I wish Britt was in the chat. She said, "I think I'm turning into a man."
Oh, she is.
What?
She is. That hormonally, she is absolutely correct. Not a man in.
What you talking about, Willis?
Girl, always got to come out. Did anybody catch that?
Hormonally, she is. The estrogen has left. She's not in her childbearing years and has not been for about 30 years. She is hormonally is now technically not a producer, right? So she has no, in the feminizing hormone, estrogen is quite low and almost even with testosterone. Absolutely. And let me just say this, and no one wants to deal with Black women's healthcare, because Black women are hormonally quite very dominant, especially in the African cultures. Still within the continent, very, very, the testosterone levels are out of control. I mean, in terms
Wow.
of what European male, they have more testosterone. And it's not the fact that they have enough testosterone more than the average, I think, Asian and European male, but they have also a lot more estrogen.
Estrogen.
When
Okay.
they do go through menopause, they become their bodies are extreme. They become either leaner, more able to have more muscle mass, and unfortunately, in this society, and Black women always have had mustaches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't have one. Anybody have a mustache in the chat? The chat's looking pretty good.
Most Black women are, we all know, are older women people, and see, and in that, even in African culture, that's not seen as a problem, but it
All
is
right.
in European culture because only men are supposed,
Okay,
you know,
fine. All right.
that is
Well,
crazy.
all right. Well, Cheryl, the chat's looking good. We got some thumbs up, but we need more thumbs up. So, Cheryl, show them what they need to do to help change the narrative about caring for elderly hair. Here we go, guys.
Man. Come on now, y'all, hit that button. Hit that button.
Hey, all right. So this is pretty interesting, man. Our estrogen levels drop. We definitely become a little bit more huskier, or maybe a little leaner. This happens as we get older. So now here's another thing that comes up when it comes to elderly hair care. Now, again, I apologize for the videos, but no, this is just real life. Okay, these are real people, real hair, real life. A lot of buildup because they're not washing the hair a lot. So we see a lot of elderly people, they're wearing wigs and all types of stuff, and they're not washing their hair, or they don't want it washed. I'm not saying y'all nasty, nothing like that. Okay. So here is what this woman had to say about cleansing hair that's heavily soiled.
Product and also pollution build up on your hair. And so the best way to do that is through using a clarifying shampoo. So my favorite clarifying shampoo that I use is Neutrogena Anti-Residue Shampoo. This is great, and I use this once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And it's really nice. It just really cleans my hair and gets rid of any excess products.
All right. So now we got grandma, we got Nene, we got our moms, and we're doing our best to try to take care of it. We have a question in the chat about, can fine hair be tough or something like that? And then of course, chin hairs. So what to do about buildup on the hair, because they're not washing it as much. It's a little scaly. And then I think, fine hair can somehow, I know this sounds crazy, or thinning hair, I don't know, but sometimes it is a little on the wiry side. So can you just answer the two questions? One, about clarifying, and then two, that wiry, like that gray hair. Like mine isn't like that yet, but I do see some gray hair that is so wiry, it's like barbed wire. Okay.
Mm-hmm. One of the things we talk about in cosmetic trichology is that we try not to focus on the hair per se, and focus on the scalp. The reason why your eyebrows, let's say for instance, they have a very soft, vellus kind of, no one ever has Afro textured eyebrows, right? So even though we have it on our heads, and pubic hair and stubble and chin lip hair tends to be what we call stubble, right? And so what is the common denominator of what makes all those different areas of hair different? It means the area is different, which means the scalp is different, or the skin, or the dermis or epidermis, they're different. So that different area will produce a different hair. So, and not focus on the hair so much, just understand what's going on, what soil is growing a specific root. so you can understand why it's different in appearance and in the cosmetic behavior. So you can't really moisturize beard hair, facial hair. You can't really moisturize it, right? Because it's stubble. It has a different kind of fat in the face area. You don't have the fat distribution as you have on your scalp. The scalps are different. It produces are different.
Well, this is very interesting because how many people see beard products, particularly oils and creams, claiming to bring moisture to your beards? Because
You know,
again, we're talking about elderly care, and our dads and our uncles, they want those beards soft and supple. And you're saying,
right. It means that the skin is aging, the scalp is aging, the dermis is aging, not the hair. The skin is dictating the fat, the subcutaneous fat and moisture, suppleness within that fat layer. The fat layer is diminishing, which creates a drier hair. That means it's drier and then it doesn't have the melanin. So now you have the area of the tissue has diminished, shrunk, the fatty tissues shrunk, and then the melanocyte is no longer pouring pigment into the keratin that forms into the hair.
and now you're looking like,
Right. And so
okay.
perceive the hair as resistant and wiry. Well, you perceive that because the scalp is not giving the suppleness to that particular cell production anymore.
Ooh, let me drop the bomb on that one right there. I think everybody in the chat. Now I'm telling you, Cheryl, this girl. No, let me try this one. You ready, Cheryl? This Cheryl is on fire. We need to get.
I just want it to make sense to us, so we can.
Because men. When you talk about aging, nobody talks about it like that. By the way, Instagram is on fire. So Instagram, I see y'all coming through. We appreciate you guys so very, very much. I can't see y'all comments, but I see y'all populating. But anywho, so why is so much emphasis then put on the actual hair and the beard and the mustache and the eyebrows? Well, because man, let me tell you, those men eyebrows, man, they just be looking like woo child. And so now you're saying what we're looking at really is a skin condition, and the hair is really reflecting.
Reacting.
Oh, the hair is reacting.
It's just reacting to the lack of distribution of sebaceous, because the biological clock says, look, we ain't got time for all of that. You know what I mean? You're not in your sex cycle anymore. You're just in, your preservation stage. And so it will begin to diminish. And the thinness and the diameter of the hair strand is because the scalp is not distributing it like you were in your sex cycle, 20s, 30s, and 40s. And so it just starts seeping off. And then you start saying, and then of course, this right here is in your 20s, your sex cycle, you got more, you're more machismo, you got more testosterone, you got more estrogen, you're in your egg, your fallopian tubes are producing eggs, you're in your prime. And then when it starts diminishing, the same word for the cosmetic word is receding. So I just told you that the body is what? Slowing it down, cell production slow down, and then your hairline begins to go here, here, and here. Well, it's the taking away. The body is still trying to equalize and prepare you for aging. So you don't have the same suppleness, moisture, sebaceous, pump. The pump is not on blast.
No, I ain't gonna tell no lie, y'all. Now, Frida, what I'm about to say, I know you about to scream, but she got me nervous, y'all. She keep talking about sex cycle, and I'm like, ooh, we ain't gonna want to have no sex when we get old. Oh,
no, I don't mean that.
Oh,
I don't mean that.
I'm sorry, Frida. Hey, we can't. I was like, oh my God, we ain't gonna be screwing. Oh, Jesus. Hey, I'm Key Lolo. Hey, gonna ask what you guys are afraid to say. We wouldn't even think like that. But anywho, but not like that.
Sex cycle means producing. Your pituitary, your glands, and your hormones, they're no longer putting your biological clock is not producing at your a prime. You're elevating to more, less production, more wisdom.
Yeah, because our body ain't the body knows you Kilolo, your ass ain't gonna be having no children. So I need to get
and you're not and you're just your wisdom, your brain changes. Now now you're completely you're burning less fuel, but you have more intuitive nature. You have more spiritual nature. You're just saying, look, I'm not interested. My brother used to always say, well, you want to go? No, I don't. Tell me how it was. You know what I mean? Like tell me how it was, bro. I can tell you all what is going to happen when you get there. He told me the other day, I took a nap. I said, well, what happened? Did you miss anything? Oh, well, actually, no. Yeah, because they still stopping at stop signs, still running lights, they're still turning green.
Sir, I would do, Frida. There's some real education here. I mean, sure, it's just breaking it down. And again, we're 108 episodes in. It appears by the way the chat is looking, everybody is truly enjoying this discussion, and it's actually giving a different take on how we look at our parents as we age, because now my parents no longer here, but that superficialness was still there. I definitely was not of the mindset that the skin was contributing to a lot of the problems that my mom was dealing with her hair. And then also when we talk about, because people do say all the time that gray hair is very wiry. And so what you're saying is it's really the hair that's responding to the less fat content on the skin. But that's
and a baby goes through that same metamorphosis. It's just that aging is the metamorphosis in reverse. So you're returning. So there's a stage where baby's hair, it don't react to nothing. You can't, and then you just start having to trim it because the baby hair is just so resistant that you just kind of, and then as the baby, goes from vellus to velvety, feathery, it gets a little more mature, a lot more mature. They're 13, going through their adolescent, and then they get their adult hair.
And then you start going backwards.
Right. They get teeth, but those teeth are not their adult teeth. So the gums dictates the teeth, not the teeth.
Wow.
The biological clock is distributing, but then once it gives it, it maintains it through 20s, 30s, and 40s. But then the clock reverses and it tries to equal out. It's just equaling out according to whatever age you are.
Yeah, it's funny you would talk about the whole gum thing, because my dentist, I did the vegan thing, right? And that's why my teeth, he was like, yo, you getting older and you can't do that. Yeah, he did. And I was like, well, and I tried to, me, I was like, forget him, I'm gonna be organic. I'm about to be organic, and I ain't gonna eat no meat. And my teeth were
my blood type cannot take vegan. My blood type is the oldest blood type, O negative. I am to consume meat. Right.
Yeah, and I tried to, they like, what do you think the cow eat? And I tried all that, and them teeth fell out. He was like, okay, you gonna listen. I was like, okay. So here I am with braces. So she is right. Your gums, all of this stuff is going to change as we age. We don't think of it that way. We just see all the superficial, the teeth, the hair, the lashes, but there's something else that lies beneath. Now, a solution to cut the hair. Here is the video, because you talked about that in your last sentence. So here we go, cutting the hair.
She cut a very big chunk at the top that's very blunt as well. Same with this whole top. It's just very blunt, all the same length. So that allows me to get some left.
What you talking about,
Ma'am.
So here's the thing.
Ma'am.
People think like cutting your hair off to when it's that thin, and then of course you're trying to add tracks to the hair. It's either one or the other. You're either trying to cut it off to make it look thicker, or you're trying to add tracks to make it look thicker. So what about our nays who only have 8 strands of hair and insist on that quick weave or that layer, as she said, cut the top so I can have more volume?
How about not coloring it? Because when you get older, you want to create what we call illusions, optical illusions. Okay. And so if we can look through it, we want to go darker. You don't want to go blonde, people. That because that does not create the illusion of thickness. Okay. And so I have to take I had to take my client base through a healthier way to get there, but we are going to start creating illusions. Okay. And so for older people, keeping the hair closer, so very asymmetrical cuts, bangs, and you don't want to create body when you get older. You don't have enough to work with at that point. You have to work with what you have to create the illusions. And any hairstylist worth their salt, okay, we'll have that wonderful conversation, and we are going to create very blunt and cuts that allow you to be low maintenance. And this is just me. I suggest that we keep the roots dark because you don't want to start seeing through them. And you can do tips or blush, or you can do those things, but you can't create volume and go blonde and trying to cut it because then layers don't work with thin hair, in my opinion. They make it thinner.
Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to get what we call the mane of a 20 and 30-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there. Now,
right.
I can understand that my father used to always say, and then if you have the weave, for some reason, ladies, and gents, especially when you have the
man units, yeah.
There's no such thing as a 65, 70s, 80-year-old person with a big, thick mop on top of their head.
Could you repeat that?
You just look
dumb. Could you please repeat it? Say it.
Age appropriate. And then you don't have to be self-conscious because no one believes an 80 or a 75, 65, 60-year-old woman has hair of a 15-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You guys having all of that, trying to look like, well, they probably don't remember this, but Marlo Thomas with the that girl flip. Your hair ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So let's do some wonderful, really kind of bobs and keep the hair close to the head and lots of ultra movement, but stop trying to create.
I have a little video I can share to give them just a little example of what you are talking about. Let's see. Here it is right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me share.
Okay, if you want to take 10 years off, start by changing the shape of your short haircut. With Phyllis, I'm doing squared layers throughout the entire interior of the haircut just to change the shape. Now I'm taking my razor and I'm finishing all the edges with it so that this way it's wispy and soft. And then I'm just going to blend that long top in. Now I'm using the foam just to get movement into the hair and the perfector just to define it. But really to finish the style, I'm going to use my embellish definer. That's going to define all the layers and the shape, the square shape that I created. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, she loves it. And it's fresh, trendy, and new for the fall. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you want to take...
And you notice that she's darker towards the roots.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that is what creates the illusion of thickness. Okay? Because she also put the illusion of a short haircut. Is and the ultimate movement and freedom. So our niece, very
Yeah,
curious.
I know as a cosmetologist, I cannot tell you how many people will come in and they'll be like, "Oh, I want this blonde." I'm like, "Hey, no, 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 no." At some point, for one, at the end of the day, it is not truly, guys, healthy for the hair. Let's just be honest. And then we're not saying if you have it, like some people are 80 years old and they're it's rare, but it happens. They will have a lot of hair. So if
Yeah,
you
they had
have
a
it,
lot of hair. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
if you
But
have it, but we're talking about people. Remember, Cheryl is sharing with us about that whole recessiveness was naturally taking place. This is not something that you're doing to yourself. Arnisa has been so kind to put a link in the chat. Excuse me, and she's calling this whether the link is all about the 7-year cycle of women's hormones.
love
And
it.
she has this to say that over the course of a woman's life, her hormones goes through different phases, 7 to be exact. And then she says each stage lasts about 7 years, and these change a woman's reproductive health, but they also impact a woman's health overall. I know I'm aging and things. I can feel it. I can see it. I got my readers on. I see the little people like, oh, I got the little, hey, this is going to happen. Your décolleté doesn't look as, plump. So you see things
Yeah, your
happening.
collagen, your ligaments, your collagen, everything begins to shrink. And one of the most the I think people say people look shorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People look shorter. Let's give some shout outs to Instagram. Instagram is on fire. We got what's up, C Matt? What's up, Scrap? Oh, we got Alton Tinker. What's happening? Miss Monica. We got Ursi Mac. We got French Q. The Queen Cares. F Paul. We got Miss Marsha 6155. We got Tina. So we appreciate Instagram. You guys are coming through like it's on fire. So thank you very much. Now we got one last one, Cheryl. We 7:19. We're gonna take it all the way to 7:30. The last one is those dang on wigs and man units. Let's hit it. Let's go after it. We're talking about wigs.
Firstly, make sure your wig is properly combed. Pour your shampoo into a warm water. You can use any shampoo of your choice. I'm going to be using the air kind. Mix your shampoo well with the water and gently place your wig into the water. The reason you have to comb your hair before proceeding to revamp is because you don't want your hair to get tangled. So while washing, you have to be very gentle with the hair. You do not have to wash it like you're washing your clothes and all that. Do you understand? Our focus here is to in any way get the dirt out of our hair and not destroy it. Once you're done washing the hair, just leave it for about 5 minutes.
What you talking about?
All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. Wig and weave, man unit, whatever y'all want to call it. Let's just say hair additions, okay? So you have these hair additions. What are your instructions for our elderly mamas who swear they got to put their hats on? The dads got to put their toupee on. How do you care for the wig and the hair? Because first of all, they don't want to wash them wigs. They don't want to get rid of them. I don't know why, but we got to help you guys out. Do they need to stock up on some wigs and those man units? And how do you care for the hair underneath the wig and the man unit? So let's wrap it up with the conversation about wigs for our elderly people for hair care.
Well, I'm gonna talk about it like the hairstylist in the chat, right? That's an additional service. Okay, so we're not trying to give any money away. So you tell them to come in and you have a wig section. Money, come on, y'all. Professionals, salons, come on. We have now a wig cleaning department. You come drop it off. I log it in. If it's supposed to be retextured, restyled, whatever the case may be. I don't want anybody in Black Hair Care to be complaining about there is no money, because that is enough money to keep y'all going for a while. That's number one. Number two, we got scalp care. Okay. One of the things that we do know that they still gonna sweat, even though they have a stocking cap on, and then they have the wig on top of that. Okay. And so the scalp is definitely a harbor of fungus and sweat and things of that nature. The hair scalp begins to itch. So we can go through a wig scalp treatment. Okay. And I recommend less water if you can, because one of the things that she talked about in that video was to be delicate. You can't be delicate if you're using tap water. Can't do it.
It's not gonna work.
You were right, and that's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
but water ages you. Water ages skin. Water ages synthetics, hair, wool, cotton, silk, any kind of keratin fiber. Now, my recommendation is that, and you can email us later, but that is a whole complete section of care. But I will say that I think that the wigs are getting at least the quality, they're getting lighter. I think the quality of how these wigs are made, I think they're better. But I do think that no one teaches them how to regenerate, revitalize their hair units.
Wow.
And so that is a totally different business. Yeah.
Wow. That is something to think about, because you know what? As you mature, your income changes, your time, like you said, you don't want to go outside as much. I am not for taxing elderly people, because I know, at least in our, I can't speak for your salon, but in our business, all of our elderly people are on fixed income, whether they're fixed from working or fixed just from and living in just true penury. And they are, wanting to have a hairstyle for their sanity. So at our hair salon, we have special pricing for our elderly, but our service is commensurate to the cost. So we're not doing a lot, but we don't have wig or man unit maintenance. And I will talk with the team, because we are going to be making some changes. Also, we've already incorporated the waterless cleansing system due to the Afro Hair Science Summit education that we received last year, which, by the way, it is going to happen again this year in 2024. We're going to do the Afro Hair Science Summit. Is coming soon. And Cheryl and I, we ask that if you are a licensed professional and you're working in the industry, you need some support, you want more education, please email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com so that you can get the plethora of information. Of course, the up-to-date information about, again, here, the Afro Hair Science Summit 2024. And our topics are Mastering Textures 2.0, the Ladosha tones, and the C-suite. And we're already rocking the C-suite at our salon, and it's just been absolutely phenomenal. Also, before we wrap this up, I want to give a big shout out. This is my customer here. Okay.
Come on, give it up.
Let me give her a big super. I'm waiting for my little thing. I'm gonna give her a big fat round of applause. Her name is Miss Christina. Okay. And I asked for her permission, or can I show this? So Christina, she came to me to the salon, and she was your traditional, I want to get my hair, pressed and curled. But her lifestyle, this woman travels literally like all over the world, and she loves to travel. And it's just not practical to get that hair straightened out. And so she went through, it took her about like a year to really embrace and have fun with her hair herself on her own terms, under the guidance that we have offered her at the hair salon. And when I tell you, this sister has got it together. She has scalp, you name it, she had it. She doesn't have it anymore due to the waterless cleansing system that Cheryl is talking about. And this is good as you age. You can take this to the bank. And so we're going to be talking about this a lot more, but I just wanted to highlight this is what happens when you go to a place and people empower you to be in charge of what you want to do. So she only comes with the color, she only comes with the cut, but she's got it. And I just really wanted to, use her as an example, given the topic that we're talking about. It's not always about coming to the hair salon and barbershop and the makeup place and the nail place. We're not always about the money. It's really about what you do in between. And what you say to that, Cheryl, as we wrap this up on elderly hair care. We hope these points have been very, very helpful. But, in closing.
And hairstylists, listen to me very closely. If you do not do children well, you will not do elderly well. Not do elderly hair well, you will not do children's hair well. And the reason why is because they're the two bookends. One is how you come in to this world. And elderly hair, that's how you're going out. And so how you care for both is how you communicate with them. It is how you make them understand. You make things very simple. And I think that Ladosha and I, that's what you'll learn at the Afro Hair Science Summit. But it's more important that we don't approach hair as a burden, as if it's a job. And we understand, not with our personalities, not with our egos, hair needs what it needs, not what you want to give it. And especially not what the marketing world in these marketing departments and labels and the consumer is being told. And listen to the client. And the result is that young lady that you're talking about, Ladosha, right there, because she needed to learn the ethos and principles of what her hair needed. And then you match it around the lifestyle so it becomes fun and she can wear it and she can play with it. And if she wants to put it away, to be able to make sure that she's got to get up early, or it's just around her, her clock. We all have clocks, biological clock, lifestyle clock, right? And whatever time we can allot to making sure that we look appropriate and makes us feel good, but keeping the integrity of the hair and the health at the foremost. And it's our job to teach that.
That is our,
absolutely.
Yeah, that is most certainly our job. And we hope that at the end of this discussion about elderly hair care, as you look at her hair, because she's so young, and I put her up there for a reason, because you know what? We're not going to look like that. Okay. We're not. And as we age, it may not be as lush. It may not be as full, because Cheryl said it's the skin that's going to go through this metamorphosis. And Ernisa, thank you so much for dropping the link in the chat so you guys can learn more and not be so duped. She was really even concerned about, well, if I don't come as much, what about you? Look, we gonna be all right. Okay. Our industry is not really about making you a slave to the hair salon, the barbershop, the nail place, and the skincare. That is not why we're here. We're here
Either you have a customer-centered salon or you have a stylist-centered salon.
Yeah.
Make up your mind which one you're going to have. And obviously, you have a customer-centered, because she looks quite happy.
Yeah.
And then, too, for the clients, I'm sorry to interrupt, but even clients who decide to wear their hair long hair is even a whole nother demographic, because you have to preserve it because they don't wear it often. And so it's just all kind of things to learn. I think that hair care is now demanding that we elevate. Absolutely.
Right. And this is the goal of this podcast, Rike. We as it stands right now, we don't have a podcast set up for the waterless cleansing system. However, remember, you can email us at that link below, right? And then also don't forget, you can attend the 2024 Afro Hair Science Summit. And for sure, we're going to go a lot more into details about the waterless cleansing system. And Cheryl has it down to a science. It's extremely liberating. We do have some people in the chat who have already, they're just benefiting from it as it stands. We're going to be back on Thursday on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and we're going to have the wonderful, illustrious Mr. Kenyatta Griggs, the hip hop motivator, and we're going to end up because remember, this month was all about mental health, and so we know that you guys got some good mental health help, and you guys have definitely partner with us to make sure that we got some mental health matters information in the chat. So we're going to wind it up with a conversation, an interview with the hip hop motivator. As Cheryl said, he is a barber to the stars, and talk about what is professional hair. We talked about, the whole pressures and the mental stressors and all that good stuff. So we need to talk about what that is. Next month begins a new month, and it's all about boys to men. We're going to solely focus on men during the month of June. Every Thursday, we got a brother we're going to be interviewing. So ladies, men, barbers, we're going to have men hairstylists, men locticians, you name it. We're going to have them in the chat during the month of June. So you don't want to miss not one single episode. Am I lying, Cheryl?
Brothers, and they are self-advocating, and they are doing their own self-care. We want to get into their world and see how we can help. Absolutely.
Right. So we're going to have the men in the chat to talk about hair care, skin care, everything for both sexes, but from a man's perspective. So you guys are going to absolutely love this. And Frida is in the chat. She participated in the second phase of the waterless cleansing system, and she said I'm telling you guys, it's a game changer if ever there was one. Cheryl has it down to a science. So while we may not be able to get a podcast on the ASAP, you can email us at the Afro Hair Science at Gmail, and we can give you a little glimpse into what we're talking about. Cheryl, any closing thoughts? That's it. We all good?
We are all good. I just want to say to everyone, thank you for tuning in. It only is going to get better. This career is going to be, what did you say? Make Black hair care great
again. All right.
Not a labor force. It is a career, and we're going to make sure, and we're working hard, traveling hard, in the highways and byways.
That's right.
Making sure that we represent and we preserve our great inheritance. Absolutely.
That's right. That is right. Thank you so much, WK, for rocking it out. Instagram, we see some more people came through, enlightened by him. Miss Lena, Miss Marsha. We appreciate you guys very, very much. LinkedIn, Facebook, we can always count on Facebook. Our YouTube family, we ain't nothing without y'all at the end of the day. We will be back Thursday at 10 o'clock with the hip hop motivator, Mr. Kenyatta Griggs, the barber to the stars. Go ahead go over to his Instagram channel. Follow him right now. Oh, yes, the brother is fine. I've done my fine check. He fine. He looks so fine. Make the preacher drink wine. So I'm gonna be hitting on him. Y'all, I'm single, so I'm gonna get it on for my estrogen levels, Miss Ernest.
Okay, so you gonna be cheating on Danny?
I'm cheating on Danny. Hey, we gotta get it out here. She already said we gonna recede as we get older. So I might as well get all the way crazy while I can. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. And you know what we say?
Happy Memorial Day, by the way.
Yes. Oh,
whatever that means.
Yes to all the people out there fighting for us, because I'm not doing any military branch, but I do. All military get discounted in our salon. I'm telling you, we look out for our people at RDT. All right. So you know what we say when we're signing out, right? It's always about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you ain't got it, don't want it, can't stand it, can't grow it. Hell, I don't care nothing about this because I'm elderly. I plan on cutting it off. We say don't even worry about it because bald heads are beautiful too. And so are you. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we're going to see you back on Thursday on Planet Pluto Pseudo again with the illustrious Mr. Kenyatta Griggs, aka the hip hop motivator and barber to the stars. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
That was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed you. Hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.